I was listening to a recording that a father made about he and his family when they were evacuating for the fire and how he was treating the situation with his children. His son was very anxious, and he was, for some reason, talking about a story about a horse that he had had, which almost died. And then he realized he was causing even more anxiety in his children, and he shouldn't be talking about the death of beloved animals while they're running away from fire danger. And the whole situation struck me as so different from the culture that I grew up in my Japanese household. And I just thought it was interesting because I really disagree with the way that a lot of people are thinking about this and how they talk about this with their children. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily right, but this is my opinion. In my opinion, this idea that you have to protect your children by not exposing them to scary things or something like that, that this is the way to make them healthier or somehow shield them or something like this. I never have believed that. I never thought that that was a good idea, and it's not the way I was raised by my parents. Now, again, this is just my personal experience. But the problem I see with that is that by feeling like you have to prevent them from thinking about or confronting scary things and so on, I think that actually tends to increase the anxiety and fear around these sorts of events. That's just my view. Childhood is a very scary time. I mean, everything around you seems scary. You're having nightmares, you're afraid of the dark, afraid of monsters. I remember it very well because I can remember my childhood very, very much in detail. But one of the things I'm grateful for is that my father, especially, and my mother, both of them would expose me to bad things that are true about the world. And I have to say, I'm grateful that they let me, I mean, not in an inappropriate way, but, we would talk about death. We would talk about disasters. We talk about con men and evil people and what they do in the world and so on. And for me, this gave me a sense that the world is somehow manageable no matter how scary it can be, no matter how much terrible things can happen. When we were packing up to evacuate, both my wife and we haven't really discussed this issue. It was just sort of like naturally how we approach it. We were both matter-of-factly saying, well, everything could burn down. We could lose everything. So bring the stuff you want to keep. So, we took our son's favorite plush dolls and, his favorite books. And he was matter-of-factly just thinking, oh,